What's going on, people? Welcome to this week's episode of the Flex and Rants show. You know what, Rants? First of all, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, bro.
Are you?
As good as you can.
As good as you can be.
As good as you can be given the circumstances, innit?
Exactly. Let's put Huddersfield to the side a second.
Yeah.
Put aside Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Put aside Mourinho. Put aside all of this stuff. Just for 1 second, put it all to the side. I want to ask you this question here. There's a lot of people saying that they can't remember disliking a group of Manchester United players as a group, as a squad, as much as they do now.
Yeah,
with all the squads that we've had, this is the worst one
squad,
for mentality, for ability, for everything.
Yeah. It is.
Do you think, A, do you agree with that? And B, do you think there's anything left in this squad from who's actually going to stay?
No, I think that the reason why we have this squad is because we've had managers that weren't right for the club. Like, none of the managers we've hired post Sir Alex Ferguson were right for the club. Do you know what I'm saying? None of them. And because of that, this is what we're left with. We're left with a mishmash of 4 different managers, players. And also, there were some Fergie fuck-ups in there because he thought that Phil Jones was going to be a top-level player. He said it himself. Smalling, he signed. Even when he signed Ashley Young wasn't that good. He was Premier League level at best. Do you see what I'm saying? So when you look at these men, like, Fergie signed them, and even though he did sign them as like understudies, like they became first team players by default because we didn't sign anyone else. Jones and Smalling should have never been first choice for Manchester United. That's not Fergie's fault, but he still signed them. And Smalling come from Fulham and he's at Maidstone and that, bruv. And, do you know what I mean? It's all shit. So yeah, like as a collective, the squad is not Manchester United level, bruv. It's barely Crystal Palace level. These men are shit.
Do you dislike it as like some people? I heard people saying like just the characters, like player by player, they just dislike this playing squad.
Yeah, but that's because they don't
more than they've ever done before.
They don't have
they
the character to play for the club because they're not of their level. But that's not their fault. It's not their fault. They didn't sign themselves. Do you see what I'm saying? The managers that signed these players are responsible for the shit that we have here. Because it's not like we inherited them all from the academy. These men, they paid money for these men, most of them. And the ones that they didn't pay money for, the likes of the Rashfords, the Lingards, like, when you look at it, like I put out a tweet yesterday, I said our shittest players are our English players for 2 reasons. 1, because they're just shit anyway. And 2, because they're favoured heavily. When you look at Smalling, Jones, Young, Rashford, Lingard, that's 5 men. That's half of your outfield players that will play more often than not, yeah, if they're fit. And they're shit, bruv. So they're holding us back because of the mentality of the managers just keep picking these guys. So that's just what it is. They're an abomination, bruv. Like, literally, man for man, like I was saying before, like, there's probably only 3 players out of all of them where I'd say, you know what, I think that they're Manchester United quality in terms of ability that I would keep.
Well, don't say it yet because one of the questions we're going to do later is like a sell and keep thing. Yeah. But it's just Matt put out a vlog and the blog that he does, and it was only 7 words, and he was just saying, you know, the United fans deserve better than this. But like, even I looked at the comments on that, and even that was getting pelters. Like, people just saying, mate, you don't care. You lot are just flipping millionaires and that. And
they do care though. It's just, they're just not good enough. Like, I'm not. I disagree with every
You're not in
fan.
that camp where it's like they don't care about the club.
Oh, they don't care about the club. It's about the badge and that. It's got nothing to do with passion. These men are not good enough. Don't think it doesn't hurt them when they're out there getting battered, bro. Because you lot are battering them. The media's battering them. Gary Neville's out there on Sky Sports well, not the English players, but he's battering everyone else. Like, these men are taking it. They're feeling it. Don't think that they don't care. They're just not good enough.
They've got to be good enough to like beat a Huddersfield or beat a flipping Brighton at home or a Burt, like that. They have to give a bet. They are, because they are better than that.
Yeah, but these men are only they're that level, bruv. They're shit, bro. Like, I don't think you understand how crap these men are, bruv. Like, you don't understand. Like, do you know what I mean? You don't understand. Like, Smalling and Jones, like I was even saying about Rashford, yeah? Like, ain't no top 10 team he's getting into, blood. Even Luke Shaw, them man love to eulogise about Luke Shaw, yeah? He wouldn't even start left back for Everton because their left back's better than him. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like, all these English men, I can go abroad for 15 million euros, yeah, and find a better man than these man, bruv. I can get a better Lingard for 15 million euros, blood. Some unknown Donny, bruv. Mahrez cost like 500 bags for Leicester. Don't get it twisted. Well, guys like Rashford and that, yeah, man are saying, oh, Barca went in for 100 million. That's bullshit. You can go in the French league, yeah, and find a striker that'll cost you 20 million, yeah, that's better than him. Like, don't get it twisted. These men are not good. Like, they're bang average footballers that get hyped up because they're English, and also we see them week in, week out, so we think that they're worldies. They're not worldies, bruv. All the guys that we're rating now, the foreign players that are playing at Premier League clubs, before they came to England, a lot of men never knew who Yuri Tielemans was. I did, but Bear Man didn't know who he was.
Played against us in the Europa League final.
You see what I'm saying? But a lot of men didn't know who he was. A lot of men don't know who Jota and them man were before they was at Wolves. You know what I'm saying? And these men didn't cost big money. Them man cost all 10, 15 mil, and they're better than our players, bro. And that's just what it is. We've got a bunch of mid-table ballers wearing our shirt, and they can all fuck off, blood. That's just how real it is.
Do you think that, you know, in the summer, it feels like we say this all the time, but like Ollie's saying that he's gonna have the final say on who comes in and who comes out. But if Ed Woodward's gonna be the main guy, ever present, always there, he's gonna have a say. Like, are they gonna get this director of football? Is Ollie gonna have the final word to say on the transfers? Is he gonna get the backing to be ruthless?
Ollie's saying they're having meetings every day. I don't think the backing to be ruthless is the problem. I just believe that Ollie, he ain't got that ruthlessness in him, bro. Like, he says he does, but
it's all about walking the walk now, isn't it?
Like, it's like it just seems like lip service to me. Like, Ollie is very good at like taking interviews. He's never had an interview where I've left it and not felt positive. Like, he knows what to say, but his team selections make me feel like I don't know if I trust him 100%. You know them one.
Is that because we still have to remember?
Ashley Young, bro.
I know. But what I'm saying is the time to truly judge him when he does have a chance to bring these players in? Because I think at the moment there's got to be a hint of like,
he'll get rid of Bailly before he gets rid of Jones. This is the problem. You see what I'm saying? Like, he favours Marcus Rashford to the point where even when he's off form and when he's injured, you're still playing him. Rashford's crap, bro. Like, what are you doing? Do you see what I'm saying? If you play, as much as I don't like Lukaku, if you play Rashford and Lukaku for 20 games each, Lukaku will score more goals than him. Like, that's just how it is.
But what you see, look at the thing of like, it got to a stage, Rants, where we can't lie. The last 8 games, it got to a stage where it was like, fucking hell. No matter what combination he puts out, they're all playing shit. Which is why we just wanted to scream for the youngsters. You put Chong on, I would have started him. Yeah. And it's interesting what you say about his team selection, which I'll talk about in a second, but it did get to a kind of stage where it was like, no matter what combinations he was throwing up, like he went back to the thing of, they're not good enough.
Yeah, but
Alexis Sanchez don't want to be there. Lukaku talking about Italy. Rashford overhyped. Lingard form just went.
They're not good enough.
Like, they just weren't doing anything anyway. No one was.
But like, I think that his team selections haven't been great. I think that his in-game substitutions haven't been great. Like, I'm a big fan of his, and I still think that he needs to be. Like, I'm not going to judge him fully until I see what kind of man.
That's unfair, innit? We have to,
because he's still dealing with other man's teams. But what I can judge man on is the substitutions he makes in the game, and also his team selections, which I haven't been happy with over the last few weeks. Like I even said in one of my shows on my channel, I was like, I don't know if Ollie's trying to shake it up or if he's just winging it at this point. Like, I really don't know.
It's hard to distinguish between the two, innit? Because at the beginning, obviously everything's rosy, and you know what, one of the questions was, it's difficult when you take the questions near the end, because I know what some of them are, but a lot of what we start talking about leads into what them questions were. But someone was saying, you know, it pisses me off to see Ollie with a smile on his face at a time like this, at all times trying to find positivity. And it depends whether you're a glass half full, half empty, innit? I think you can't take too much from it, because he's in such a shit situation. Him coming out and moaning about all the shit things that he knows is already wrong. It's just adding more fuel to the fire. However, I get it with how you can't always just put your arm around people and smile and say, oh, Rashi this and Jesse this, and no, sometimes.
No, but I think he's deluded when it comes to Marcus Rashford. I think he genuinely believes that he's a top class player. He genuinely believes it. I don't. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't think he'll ever be one. I always said it. I said he would always be a squad player at best for Manchester United.
He said that the reporter said, have we seen the last of, you know, Alexis Sanchez at Man United?
I don't know. How are we going to shift him?
The injury, I mean,
they're saying the club are willing to pay him
half of his thing, exactly. And he said that it could be the last of many players that you've seen there today.
I hope so.
Do you believe that?
I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. As I said, like, I don't know if I fully trust Oli to be ruthless yet. You know what I mean? Because I've seen the players he favours. And again, my main issue with Maureen was the players he favoured I didn't rate. And now I've got the same thing with Oli, but he's favouring the English lads instead of the Lukaku's, the Matic's, the Fellaini's. Do you know what I mean? But either way, it's not good enough for me. So I want to see what he does in the summer. Like, he has to bring in at least one centre half. I've been told under a very good source that we've been offered a very good centre back. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully we just pay the money, innit? Like, and if we get him, I'll be a bit more comfortable. But I feel like at this point we probably need two centre backs. You know
I just don't know like who a good centre back pairing is actually going to be. And you know what he has spoke about though? The fact that there's so many agents and that touting their players to come United, to come United.
Like, they have to be within a decent price range. You know what I'm saying? Because for me personally, like, if the man gave me the 200 mil plus the money we'll get for Rom, because he's going, like, and a few other men we sell, I say we got 300 million. Bro,
it's good money.
I could get 7 players for that. Comfy. Like 7 top players that would turn us into title contenders immediately, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's it.
But is that unrealistic for one window? 7 players?
No, it's not. It's not unrealistic,
for us.
Brother, City done it. You know what I mean? And Arsenal, like, even Arsenal last season, even though they got a few frees and that, like, they brought in about 6-7 man. Like, they did. Even though Guendouzi didn't cost no money, Lichtsteiner was, like, on a free or something. But they brought in bare man. Like, when Emery come in, he was like, yeah, we need to bring in Leno. They brought in a few man.
They bring in about since that?
They brought Torreira. They brought the goalkeeper.
Guendouzi, Leno, Lichtsteiner, Socrates.
That's 5 already.
5, yeah.
And they brought in more than that. I'm sure there's man. They got another bro that ain't been playing, that come from the Spanish league.
They got Suarez halfway through.
That's 6.
Halfway through.
And there was another man, I'm sure there was like 7 man he brought in. Like, bro, you can do it. Like, you can do it. And we've got the P's that we could do that. You know what I mean? If PSG can spend 200 million on a 1 man, we could bring in a 7 man. Who cares? You see what I'm saying? I mean, you look at clubs like Monaco and them, man, when they get raided in the summer, what do? They bring players in. Like, Ajax will get raided this summer for about 4 or 5 man.
And they'll go for some of them, man.
And they'll bring in 4 or 5 man or maybe 6 man after that. Like,
but they also use their youth system as well and bring half of their squad that's doing numbers. You look at Ajax, we'll talk about that. You look at, look, we played that team in the Europa League final 2 years ago. And just look at the development, look at the structure they've got. And someone said to me, it's bullshit about this Ajax thing because Ajax have had a model for about 30 years or however long. No, but this is the first time. But this is the first time in that time with this model that they've had that they've actually been good.
No, but that's because what usually happens with Ajax is their players get bought early. Like, even like I was speaking to a few guys, Dutch guys, and they even said the reason why the Dutch league has been weak for so long is because teams like our teams,
they let them out.
We go into their youth teams and take their players before they make the first team. So people like Tahith Chong and that. You know what I mean? Them man get taken from Holland before they make first team.
But Ajax actually, hold on a minute, let's keep these in
players, bruv. That's the only thing that's happened. The reason why the Dutch league is as weak as it is because the top players get plucked very, very early, even before they reach the first team. That's all that happens. That's all that happens. So, like, the likes of, like, the Memphises, these are rare. By the time these men get to that level, they're already at top elite clubs. That's what usually happens.
Do you think the director of football thing is like a...
It's happening.
Do you think it's a gimmick? Do you think that if it does come...
He's even come out and said that they're having meetings.
Do you think when it comes, then let's say, or if and when, whatever way you look at it, do you think that it will have the desired effect? Do you think United will use it in the right way? Do you think it will be put in place in the right way? Or do you think it's like, we need a director of football, just get one? No, leave them on their own.
I think everyone's giving Ed stick, but Ed Deere has realised that the model that we currently have doesn't work.
And if you can't see that now, then
he's
Jesus Christ.
He's clearly looked at the models around Europe and he's trying to replicate that. He's looked at Bayern Munich, Like I said this on my show as well, because I spoke about this. Salih Hamicic is at Bayern Munich as the sporting director. You got Eric Abidal at Barcelona. You've got what other clubs are you thinking about?
You got Overmars and thing.
Yeah, you got Overmars at Ajax, bro, and Van der Sar is the CAR. Yeah, Bergkamp was involved at one point. I don't know if he still is. Yeah. And that's the point. The point is with these guys, they're looking at the setup. They've got ex-players as the DOFs. You know what I mean? And upstairs they've got loads of ex-players, and that keeps the DNA. Keeps the recruitment right. These things have always been there. So with Oli managing and then bringing in a DOF, Like, them man, he's looking at the models that are around and saying, you know what, we want to replicate that. That's what he's looking at. And there's nothing wrong with
modern
that.
football now as well.
That's modern football.
And not even, you say modern though, but these teams have been doing it for years.
City done that 4 years ago. You know what I mean? When they were looking to bring in Pep, they already brought in the man them that was at Barcelona with him, and they kind of paved the way, and they started recruiting for Pep Guardiola before he'd even arrived. And they had the foresight to do that. So even though it's taken us a long, long time, brother, like Ed's finally, like he's finally got it, and they're saying that they're gonna back Oli aggressively, innit? So if that's the case, let's wait and see.
Because you know what this summer's gonna be. This summer we're gonna be linked with every man and his dog.
But we always are anyway.
Easily, yeah. As a default, we're always linked with every man and his dog, and I think we've also got to be careful of how Ollie said that there's agents on the phone saying, do you know what? Do you know what actually is? That's a flipping. I tell you what, jump on them. They're going to be desperate and looking for new players, and they got money to spend. Like we've seen what happened with the mercenaries. We want to avoid that, and especially now that we're in the Europa League, and that's confirmed. You know, yes, you're going to have to pay a bit more for players because, you know, the players will say, well, you're not offering me Champions League football. How are you going to get me here? There are some players who that does matter to. Not all. Like I said, the lure of Man United is enough for a lot of players. That, you know, just the size and magnitude of the club and being excited to be part of a new project, a new rebuild, all about how they sell it. But make no mistake, some of these agents that are on the phone saying, you know, oh, I want to bring my player here, very interested. It's not all purely because of it's Manchester United and the badge. It's because they know there's money to be got there. And Man United are really looking for hungry players, but it's like kind of trying to kick them while they're down. We can get something out of them. We have to be careful of the mercenaries as well. We're going to jump on it because they know we're desperate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there is that to look out for. But I just think we're going to be fine, bro. Like, honestly, as long as Oli gets the right fucking guys, bro. As long as he gets the right guys, we're going to be fine. Don't bring in no shit players. Like, the kind of names that I start seeing him going for, that's when I'll know. Like, yeah, has he got it? You know what I mean? Because, like I was saying to these guys, a lot of these ex-United players, like, they ain't got it, bruv. Like, they don't know what they're talking about, bruv. And I can separate my love for them as professional footballers for pundits, like the likes of Gary Neville, Roy Keane, Paul Scholes and that, talking out their ass, bruv. Like, when Scholes is like, oh, we don't need a DOF. Like, what is a DOF? Like, what do they even do? If you don't know what they do, then how do you know we don't need one, bro? Like, that is just the dumbest quote I've ever seen in my life. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like outside of England, it's not a foreign, like, it's not alien. Like, it's very normal.
Yeah, it's very normal.
But because it's outside of this country and you don't understand it, you're shooting it down, bro. That's very ignorant, innit? Like, that very small-minded bullshit mentality is the reason why a lot of our fans are stuck in the past, bro, and they think that, oh, yeah, let's just go back to the old way, because the old way is how we did it then. Life fucking moves on, bro. Do you see what I'm saying? All the other teams have moved on. City got their DOF and they got their thing lined up. Liverpool done it as well. They got new owners. They had everything patterned. Tottenham have got everything patterned. But then you, man, want to stick to the old way, and then you wonder why we're behind these teams.
I think what annoys me is, and I know it's easy to say what it was, but people say to me all the time, it's not the United way. This ain't United. This ain't United. Not just like with fan cams and things like that, because some people were doing that, saying, no, it's not United. It's not. And I'm like, well, I actually said to a guy, explain to me what is United now.
Bruv, the United way changes.
Do we even know what that is anymore? Because it's like Liverpool saying they ain't won the Premier League title since it's been the Premier League, and they used to win everything in the 80s and stuff like that, late 80s and that, and even before that. But they could be saying, oh, let's get back to the Liverpool way. They've had to find a new way.
Bruv, there is no Liverpool way.
Do you know what I'm saying? They've had to find a new thing. So fuck all this United thing. Like, what is that now?
The Liverpool
it has
way
to change.
Winning, bruv. Like in the 80s and that. The Liverpool way was just winning. That's it. The Bayern Munich way is winning the league. The Barcelona way is winning the league. The Real Madrid way is winning the league or winning the Champions League, bruv. Winning. That's the way, innit? Like, we're not winning. Like, when we were winning, yeah, like 2013, I keep reminding people, we were shit, bruv. We didn't play well. United games, bruv. I was borderline falling asleep. Robin Van Persie dragged us over the line, bruv. We were crap that season. Like, when you look at the points that we won the league on, right now, like, what are you getting for that?
There's levels above now. It's gone way for
what are you getting for that? Like, we weren't amazing, but everyone's just like, oh, yeah. We were winning and that. Nah, we weren't playing good football for a while, bruv. Like, when the boss retired, there's a few years we weren't playing well, bruv. Do you know what I mean? We were playing shit football. We're playing shit football. Man, don't remember that.
I think until we look at Ollie's team, yeah, and say, flipping heck, it's 2 years down the line, a year and a half down the line, whatever, and go, oh, there's only one man who was there from when Ollie first went there, or two players.
But that's what it needs
in
to
the
be.
Squad, like not the starting. I'm talking about in the squad. And that's why I think it's so difficult right now. Because you look at, I keep mentioning Liverpool and it pisses me off, but they're just the best. They're just the best example. Slowly dismantled. Man, that in 3 years kicked everyone out the Ross club. What I'm saying is, where I say slowly is because you can't do it in one. Yeah.
But Klopp got rid of every man, blood. That man had Markovic, Lambert, all these men when he came and he dashed away everyone, blood. I think the only people still surviving are Lallana, Milner, Sturridge. Everyone else got dashed.
Lovren was there, but he doesn't really play anymore.
Lovren just came in. Yeah. He dashed everyone away. That's what these men need to do. That's why I say it's Maureen's fault, blood, because man had what? 2 winter windows, 2 summer windows. And look at the man that was still in there. He still had LVG man in there. He still had Moyes man in there and Ferguson man in there. He could have done it if he wanted to. He signed 11 players, but he didn't sign well. So when he's talking about he wasn't backed, he was backed. He just didn't recruit well. It's his fault, blood. One of the men that he recruited, he ended up selling. Mkhitaryan, bruv. He didn't recruit well. That's on him. You can't blame no one else.
And we're still, and like you said, we're still ruining the scars from that. That's what this team is.
Spent the same amount of money as Maureen, bruv. And look, and he changed the whole thing.
When you look at our team, it is literally scars left over from like operations gone bad.
And the worst players from all the managers as well, bruv.
Yeah.
Apart from De Gea, who was a good Ferguson signing, like Young, Smalling and Jones weren't good Ferguson signings. Valencia wasn't a good Ferguson signing either. Do you see what I'm saying? And then you just go through.
Valencia in his early years, I think he was good. I think he was good.
Yeah, but considering we sold Ronaldo and brought him in, that was a shit signing.
The problem with Valencia is that when he started to, his legs started to go, and that, which to me was borderline 2/3 years ago. We didn't bring in no replacement. We just converted Ashley Young.
He wasn't a Man United level signing. We just got away with it. Like with a lot of Ferguson signings, we got away with it because our core was so strong that you could bring in a Valencia he's average, but because he's got Scholes and them man around him, like he just looks better.
That's what I mean. So when he got exposed, we didn't move him on.
He got exposed because the man around him weren't as good anymore. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So when man are like, oh, Ferguson signed a lot of dud ballers, bro, but we got away with it. You know why? Because our core was already rock solid.
But that was one of Ferguson's biggest things, though, because he used to get players, like you said, they all come from the Premier League. Yeah. He used to get players that may not be the best in the world at their position, but we used to make it work because of the team and the ethos that we had.
You can do that when everyone around you isn't spending peas, blood. You can do that.
Yeah, now you can't do that now.
You can do that when you're the only big gun in the league, blood. When you only got to worry about Arsenal spending the 16 million on some Frenchman, blood. That's when you can do those things. You can't do those things when Chelsea are spending 80 M's, when even Wolves are spending 50 M's. You can't do that no more. You see what I'm saying?
And this is what we spoke about, and what I was just saying a second ago about this United way. Like it's easy to say, get back to United, but essentially, you know, people say like they don't want this. Like we laugh at City because obviously they've come in and bought everything, and that. Unfortunately, the level of investment that's needed now is where I'm not saying you need to throw astronomical amounts at all times, but being able to have that whole, boy, we need this. All right, we need to go and get it. All right, we need this type of player. We need to go and get it. You need to pay a little bit more for it. All right, here it is. You need that. You need that from your owners. You need that from your board. You need it because when you're scrimping the barrel and scraping here and don't want to hold back on this and going for the cheap option, it doesn't work.
75 M's for Van Dijk, yeah. Loads of people were like...
Exactly.
But Liverpool just said, fuck it.
Look how he's improved their team.
That's how much you want? This is what we need.
The same for the keeper.
Yeah.
Bam, 150 million, gone.
Paid up.
On 2 players. Yeah. But look how much it improved them, you know? And then that mixed in with good recruitment, i.e. I don't need to spend 100 million on left back because I could just go and get Robertson because I can see the level of him.
Because I just bring Trent up.
Do you know what I'm saying? So you need a mix of the two. You need a mix of we're experienced and we know what we want because we've got our director of football and our way of playing. We can find this in young players around the country and young players in our system. Yep. On top of, but we need a commanding centre-back. We need to go out and buy that quality because I can see it there and he only plays for Southampton. Let's go and get him. And we'll give them an offer that Southampton cannot say no to because he's their best player. You need a mixture of both. And until Man United Football Club can get a mixture of that, we're going to be royally fucked for the seasons to come, which is why this transfer window and this rebuild is so big because we've had rebuild after rebuild, but nothing's changed structurally.
Yeah.
They're actually onto it now, saying that this club is going to change
But that's
structurally.
why, like, I'm kind of optimistic for this summer. I am, you know, because this feels different. Like I tweeted, I said this feels different because this is the first time I can see something is being done that's different. Whereas before, it's just I'm hearing things. Oh yeah, we can do what other teams can't do. But now I'm actually seeing that them man are trying to implement different things in it, which makes me optimistic that if this summer goes well, like in a couple of years we're back still. You know what I mean? And hopefully, man.
I've seen from Ollie, I've seen like left and then right and then middle. So what I've seen is like, I've got some fantastic players here, you know, I'm going to bring the best out of them. Good players here, good crop, you know, I'm learning about the attitudes, Then it's gone to shit, and I've seen him say, yeah, I've learned positives and negatives about these players. Some players won't be here. I'm going to be successful at Man United, and some of these players won't be part of that.
Yeah, I rate it.
Then I've seen, exactly, absolutely. Then I've seen the middle bit, which is, yeah, you know, we're always looking to evolve as a club and director of football. And I've seen like all different sides, and I'm trying to.
I feel like he knows what's to come, and he's been given assurances that he's got full reign and he's going to do something different. I think he knows that it's going to be a big like job where man's just pulling up the floorboards, innit? Like I think he knows that it's going to be one of those jobs. And if that's the case, I'm 100% behind him. But don't fuck this up, bruv, because I know like a lot of fans are starting to twitch and say, you know what, bruv, I told you that we jumped the gun with him. Do you know what I mean? Because the thing is with managers, when you don't have pedigree, there's always that extra pressure on you. Do you see what I'm saying?
Speaking of pressure on you, I'm going to put pressure on you.
Yeah.
Jamie Redknapp said that if United don't start well next season, the pressure will be massively on Ollie.
Yeah, I agree.
And absolutely, I agree with that too.
Man will want him out by Christmas.
Question is, and he said that Man United may have to sack him if it gets too peak.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I believe that if he was at Real Madrid, he would have probably been sacked already, if I'm honest. I said it. You see what Perez done with... was it Hierro he brought in? Or Salgado?
It was. No, the one from the Spanish.
No,
the one from the Spanish. He was the Spanish.
No, not that Lopetegui guy, but then they brought in another ex-footballer. I think it was Hierro. Hierro or something, and he was in for like 3 months, but and then they brought Zidane in, blood. It was him or Salgado. I can't remember who it was, bro. Just dash man out, blood. Like Perez was just, bruv. If Perez was our director, he would have been up in that director box for Ollie. Like, yeah. What do you mean, bro?
Do you think if that happened,
7 losses in 9?
If that happened, yeah, and I'm not trying to push any way of thinking of I want that to happen and let's sack Ollie. None of that. Yeah. I am not judging. Let me just before I make this next little bit, I want to just say that we're not pushing any agenda for Ollie. We're not judging him yet because this is not his players. He hasn't been backed. That's not what this is about. But if that was to happen, would you look at it like, how the hell have they sacked him after 6 months after his transfer window? They haven't given, because he needs time. He needs 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, but people say that, bruv. By the end of the day, for me, like, managers should be given as long as players are given. Like, a lot of these fans are quick to write off Fred and say, get rid of him after like 3 months. But then you want managers to be given time. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? You got to be patient with players, yeah? If they're adapting to a new country, a new team, a new way of playing. And it's the same with managers. If they're just implementing their own plans, you have to give them the same patience. Like, fans are hypocritical. You can't say that after 3 months, right, this player's not good enough, he needs to leave, but saying give a manager 3 years. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? No. Like, as far as I'm concerned, if I don't see progression from a manager or I can't at least see your vision, like when Klopp came in at Liverpool, even though when he hadn't bought no one because he came in mid-season, you could see his ideas, you could see how he was trying to make them play. And even though points-wise, it wasn't better than Brendan Rodgers. Like, you could see the football, you could see the direction. So,
same with Pep in his first season.
But this is it. But you could see what he was trying with, like, the inverted fullbacks and that. You could see that they were working on shit. With Ollie right now, yeah, like, nobody really knows what kind of football we're trying to play, like, what we're trying to do. No one knows, innit?
I agree with that.
And when he gets his players in, if we still don't know...
Yeah, then that's when you can say it.
That's when man can start saying, hold on, you got your man... Why are we still lopsided? Why have we still got no right-hand side? Like, why can we still not play out from the back? Do you know what I mean? All these things, then we can start to ask.
Because all them questions are now.
But we can't ask them
because
yet.
the games have come so thick and fast. Yeah. You can't just expect man to just scrap the whole way of playing, which they're stuck in playing. Yeah. Work on a whole new system. Work on this. Work on that. Like, because I agree with you. I can't work out. I can't work out how we want to play. Yeah. Do we play a pressing game? Do we play a counter game? Like, what are we doing? It still seems like that, but. That's because I believe, like you said, he hasn't managed to dash out what he wants to dash out. He hasn't managed to bring in what he wants to bring in. And he keeps talking about this fitness as well. Like when you said the players are just gassed out as well. Yeah. It was too much as well. On top of a lot of them are not good enough. So let's only start judging Ollie when he gets his players in. He's worked with them all the way through the summer. Yeah. And we see how we do in the first 3 months of next season in it, because that's really where we are. Let's set up the question section. This is from Berman_Jamie. He says, is Ollie playing all the dead players to show how much money we need to spend in the summer? Young, Jones, Matter.
I thought that yesterday, you know. I thought that yesterday. I thought he was like, let me just put these men out there, yeah? Because also, like, if they're not playing, it's harder to get money for them. You know them ones. I think he was kind of showing people that, you know what, these men are kind of shit. Like, look at them. I honestly did believe that, like, yesterday for a little while. Like, I did. A part of me did think that. So... who knows?
You don't know. You can never put your hand on it and say that's the definite reason.
That calculated. If it was Maureen, I'd say yes. But,
He's done loads of things to prove points.
You throw man under the van, yeah, like on live TV, just to let these men know, that we need a centre back. Look how shit these men are. He did it.
Ucker981 says realistic transfer targets now that Europa League is confirmed.
I don't. Questions like that. It's vague, innit? Because it depends on. We don't know what our budget is. We don't know what Ollie thinks he should get. I mean, I know we need 2 centre mids. We need a centre back. We need a right winger. And we need a striker.
We need a right back too.
And a right back. Sorry, so that's 6 man. So we need 6 players, innit? And that's 6 man to come straight in the team. You know, that's 6. Half the team can go, rude boy. You know what I'm saying? 6 man.
And also, you lot, please have to remember, you got to be so patient with this, because, like you said, you're picking out like 6 players to come straight into.
Man could get another centre back as well.
Exactly, to come straight into the starting 11, and that's saying you're going to try and move 7 players on plus the squad depth as well. Like, it's impossible to do it in one summer. Impossible. At Sava Zahi says, how long do you think it would take to fix this, assuming the director of football is hired? Longer than the time left on Ollie's contract, or no? 2 years.
I think going into the 3rd season, man will be should be challenging for the league and for silverware in the 3rd season.
That's only if the recruitment's right.
If the recruitment's right. I think the recruitment has to be right now. If the recruitment's not right after this year, man, I have to start blaming the managers again, bro. I don't care, because Woodward don't bring players in. He's not a scout, innit? At the end of the day, like, a lot of people don't understand what DOFs do, yeah? You've got your chief scouts, you've got your scouting network. Woodward don't scout no one. Woodward is the man, yeah, that goes and just ties the deals up. He does what David Gill used to do. So when man are blaming Woodward for players coming in, he's not signing these man, blood. He's just going with a list. That's it. So if Rojo came in, it's because
someone's wanted
him, blood, and the scout said, you know what, yeah, we like him. It's got nothing to do with Woodward. You man need to understand how the game works. So if we're bringing in still shit man, it's because our scouts aren't doing a good enough job, or they're showing Ollie certain man and they're saying nah. Because we had scouts saying that, yeah, we were looking at Delit, we were looking at all these other men for years. They're saying, yeah, they've been on our radar.
So where the fuck are they?
But these managers are saying no. Like, even Giggs was like, when I was manager at United, like, yeah, we knew who Mbappe was. Yeah. So what happened then?
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking donut. Do you know what I mean? You knew who Mbappe was. At them times, we didn't know.
That's a Wenger thing, that is. He always used to come out and say, I could have signed Neymar. I could have signed Messi. So what? We didn't.
Toure, all these man, like, you're a fucking mong. You didn't, though. You see what I'm saying? So, like, it could have been one of them shoulda, coulda, woulda times, bro.
It kind of leads into this question as well. At Joshua and Packer says, how far do you think Ollie will bring this current squad next season if he doesn't bring in at least 4 to 5 seasons? We're fucked.
If you don't bring in at least 5 man, we're not finishing in the top 6 next season.
Top 6?
Yeah, we're not. If you don't bring at least 5 man. Because all the teams around us are going to get stronger. You think Wolves ain't going to invest more money? They got some wong there, you know. Wolves got some wong, fam. No, but they got money, bro. Like, they got new investors, innit? That's why they're doing this. So Wolves will go again. Leicester will go again. Like, Everton will go again. All these little teams around us that they're going to spend. Everton will spend at least 150, blood. They spent more than us last summer. You see what I'm saying? Man can't sleep on these teams.
Well, Ollie said that in his press conference, that we need to be the best of the chasing pack here. But I'm not going to lie. Yeah, there's a point in that. Yeah, but I don't want to hear that. Exactly. I don't want to. I'm not being funny here. We've just finished, well, it's going to be more than 23, 4, 5 points, whatever it is, behind City and Liverpool, respectively, yeah? And we're still behind the likes of Chelsea, we're still behind Arsenal, we're still behind fucking Tottenham. I don't want to hear that next season we just need to make sure that we keep Leicester and Watford and Wolves away from us. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm trying to hear him saying, how we're going to fucking claw back at least half of that gap to start improving this team. I'm sorry, I don't want to hear that. Yeah. It's true because it's a sad situation of where we're in, but I want to hear my manager coming out and saying, it's unacceptable to be behind Liverpool and City by this far. This is how we're going to look to cut back that 25-point gap. Not fucking make sure Leicester don't catch us and all this bullshit. That just pissed me off. That was my bugbear for the week. Yeah. This is from Josu Ngandu. He says, should fans start to lower their expectations? We haven't won the league since 2013, finished outside the top 4 times in the last 6 years, and won't challenge for the league next season.
They already have lowered their expectations. That's why we're shit, bruv, because you lot are allowing this, blood. Same way, that's why I say the Luke Shaw thing, bruv. Man, I'm talking about him for player of the season. What the fuck has he done, bro? Like, he's shit, bro. But you lot have been eulogizing about his 6 out of 10 performances for so long, yeah, that...
Shows how shit the squad is. Yeah,
it shows how shit the squad is.
Who could you even pick out for player?
You man are forgetting what good footballers look like, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're forgetting. Man's whack. He's been whack. And that's the same with Rashford. Whack, bro.
Is there a bit of this, what he's saying, though? I think more what he means is, though, like... You see how we say Europa League is our level right now? It is. I'm not saying we should want to be in it, but what I'm saying is...
we should lower our expectations.
Stop thinking we're going to win the league next year, because we won't.
But we know that. Like, I know that. Do you know what I'm saying? When man says challenge, that means be there or thereabouts, blood. Finish in the top 4 and be within 10 points of whoever won the league. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that would be a good season next season, bruv. Like it would. I can't be coming out thinking, yeah, we're going to win the league next year. What? With what? With what chemistry, bruv? We ain't even got the ballers to win the league.
No, next year is about just trying to claw back some of that gap and have a direction that we're actually going in. This one is from MVP_Kawi. Should we let Pogba go? I'm one of his biggest supporters, but it would make sense for all parties.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I would.
I don't think he wants to be here anyway.
I don't think he wants to be here. I don't blame him. I think he has every right to want to leave. If I was Pogba, I'd want to leave too, because he's the only player at that level in football that has to play with this shit every week. No one else. How many elite footballers have to play with these shit man every week? No one. I feel sorry for him. I genuinely do. When he gets the ball, he looks up, yeah, like, who's there to pass to? There's no options. These men are rubbish. Like, I do feel sorry for him, genuinely. I think we should let him go. We should get 160 odd mil for him. And with that 160 million, we can buy 2 or 3 midfielders with that, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? We can go and get Neves, spend 60 odd mil, 60, 70 mil on Neves. Man could go and get Ndombele as well if we want. We can get fucking Partey from Atletico Madrid. We can even get Tielemans, bruv. There's man we can get. We can get Ndidi.
In this league, ready to go.
We can buy 3 man for the money that we'll sell Pogba for. Do you see what I mean? We can sell him for 180 million. We could. And get 360 million midfielders that would do a thing, bruv.
The way I sit on a Pogba thing is, I think he should go as well. And I think maybe slightly different to you is... Well, no, I agree with the bit of you saying that because he probably don't want to be here anyway. The bit about feeling sorry for him, do I feel sorry for him, Rants? I think it's unfortunate that he's not in a squad with players that are more on his level and he could go elsewhere. But in terms of him, hold on.
He could have gone to Real Madrid and he came to us.
Hold on. In terms of it, he chose to come here and was probably promised.
Because he got sold dreams, blood.
And was probably promised he could do this, and this. Yeah. But there has been times where I think once he got past that, it was never going to happen. I do think he thought, fuck this. I do think that. And I'm not going to say go on the pitch and not try, but there's been times where he hasn't given the best account of himself. He's been scapegoated loads of times. I 100% agree with that. I agree with the fact that what do you expect him to do? And the point I always make is if you swapped him with De Bruyne right now or Modric right now and just put them in our teams, do you think they would do numbers? No, they wouldn't.
Well, they wouldn't. The numbers he's doing.
They wouldn't. They wouldn't. Exactly.
Crazy.
But I do think that there's times where he has thought, fuck this. And I think, and I do think he's just won the World Cup. He's a great player. Why is he going to want to stay around for this rebuild as well? So just leave.
He's well within his right to feel fuck this, because why should he? Man's been sold a dream. When Woodward and them man came knocking on his door, yeah, and we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna get Mourinho in, we're gonna bring in all these big names and all these good players, and we're gonna do all of this. And then what? And then he got played out of position.
You think they could do that to him again?
No, then he got played out of position by Maureen for 3 seasons, blood.
No, I mean, do you think there's a chance? Before we do the last question of the show and wrap it up, do you think there's a chance that we could get either one, like a Ronaldo situation, where we get one more year out of him? Do you think there's a chance that he might actually go, do you know what? I've been assured the players that's going to come in, I'm going to be here for another 2-3 years. Or the third option, do you think it's done and dusted and he's going?
I think him or De Gea leave this season, innit? One of them.
Yeah.
So
both, maybe?
No. I think that it's more likely to be De Gea than Pogba. I think that we could get one more season out of Pogba, and they'll probably just get Hazard, someone else, and then get Pogba next season. Do you know what I mean? And De Gea will leave this season. That's what I feel. However, I feel like one of the two are leaving. If Pogba did decide to leave this season, no hard feelings, bruv. Like, he's been our best player at the club since we signed him. So, like, it is what it is.
Cool. Last question, and I love this one. At Laidback 1992, Kieran Phillips says, go through the entire squad and do a sell or keep. All right, I'll name the players and you say sell or keep, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
All right. De Gea.
Keep.
Ashley Young.
Sell.
Chris Smalling.
Sell.
Phil Jones.
Sell.
Lindelof.
Keep.
Bailly.
Oh, I'm torn. I'll say keep, but I could be convinced to sell him. I'll say keep.
Rojo.
Sell.
Darmian.
Sell.
Luke Shaw.
Sell.
All right. I'm trying to think of the midfield. Is that all the defenders I've pretty much got? Do you know what? 2 in Zabi.
Yeah, keep him.
Fosa Mensah. Like, would you bring? What I'm saying is, would you bring these guys? Would you bring him in and let them have a go next season, or?
I'd have them around the club. Yeah. I'd have him around.
Sergio Romero. Sorry, I forgot.
Keep him. Yeah, for sure.
Right, into the midfield. Ander Herrera.
He's going. He can go.
But only because he's going, or?
Yeah, if he didn't want to go, I'd keep him because I think he's a good player to have in the squad. He wouldn't be starting.
Scott McTominay.
I'd keep him.
Pereira.
I'd keep him.
Fred.
Keep.
Paul Pogba.
Keep.
Mata.
So.
I forgot the lot actually. As a right back.
Yeah, I'd keep him, but he wouldn't be starting either.
Cool. Martial. Just signed a 5-year deal.
I'd keep Tony, but I've said before, like, he's replaceable, innit? So, like, if he don't want to stay, I would sell him, innit? But I'd keep him. Like, if I was Gaffer, he'd want to stay because he's one of my main players, innit? Yeah.
Rashford.
I'd sell him.
So we wouldn't be a squad player?
He could be a squad player, but I'm saying, like, if man are touting these big numbers that we can get for him, if someone's really offering me 80 million, I would fucking rip their arm right
Surely
out
no
the
one's going to offer 80 million for Rashford.
I don't know, blood.
Okay.
I mean, people get gassed off FIFA stats. I'd rip their arm off.
Lukaku.
So.
Alexis.
So.
Oh, you've hesitated there, though.
I hesitated because I think he's better than Rashford. I think he's better than Lukaku. I feel like Alexis is suffering because, again, he's playing with shit players and he's been played out of position. I think it's a combination of the two.
I think he's dead now, Rants. I think he's shit.
The thing is, like,
he's lost it, mate. He's lost it.
No, but you know what I see?
Like you said, go China, go retirement home.
I see little glimpses. I see little glimpses in his game,
He's done
where he sees passes and he tries to do things and people just ain't on his wavelength. Like, I saw a few of those situations yesterday. When you ping the ball into him, he holds it.
Yeah, he's got a good touch, but there's no productivity.
He's got a good touch, yeah.
All he does is cut in and do that dead same.
Yeah, but he looks. Yeah, but he shouldn't be cutting in because he shouldn't be out wide in the first place. I'm saying, if I'm playing him down the middle. There were times where he was down the middle yesterday and he was making nice little runs in behind, picking up the ball, trying to lift. He lifted one cross into the back post and he tries things, but the man around him ain't really, their brains ain't working like that. Him and Matt have done a few nice things together because their brains work the same, but Matt's body don't move. Like, you see what I'm saying? I'll get rid of Matter because for me, like, in the free role that Matter needs to thrive, players like him and Ozil, you build the team around them or you don't play them because they're passengers.
Yeah, they're passengers. They're luxury players.
So you can't have a Pogba and a Matter. You can't. No. You need a Pogba or a Matter. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? So for me, it would be the Pogba, then Matter goes.
I'm trying to. I'm not going to mention any of the youngsters because we obviously all believe that they should be getting a chance. So your Chongs, your Gomez's.
In all honesty, like, if their man said to me, boom, you got 400 million, you could get rid of everyone you want to get rid of. I swear to you, De Gea, Pogba, Lindelof or Martial are the only 4 man would keep.
So it's easier to say it that way around.
I would dash where everyone else. Everyone, I'll start again, bro. Because those are the only 4 players that would probably start for me if I had the money to bring in thing. And even Lindelof, like as good as he is, I could go out and get a centre back better than him. Do you know what I mean? So,
listen, come to the end of the show. The Huddersfield game obviously was an embarrassment, but like we said, even in the thing before this week, we sat here and said wasn't even confident that we would definitely go there and win. Said it. So we've got one last game against Cardiff, and hopefully he can just really let the youngsters loose. Just let them all go.
Mason's got to play in that game.
Yeah, start Garner, start Chong. He was lively when he came on.
Yeah, he was
very lively, and it's going to be a long summer when we're going to be linked with every man.
Started for Oli, exactly. You know them ones there where it ends, blood. Who knows, blood? Imagine man get clapped by Cardiff on that, like man get that P45. I'm joking. Nah, I'm playing. I'll play it.
Rants socials.
At Rants and Bants on Twitter and Instagram, and also make sure you hit up the YouTube channel.
That's it. Flex UTD across all of the socials. We've had our first United stand game, 6-0 win against Football Daily. That video will be dropping very soon. I know you'll be at the next games coming up. You're training for your fight as well, so you're trying to balance the two. So important that you do that, because we know that certain people would want to be giving excuses to the other YouTubers. Oh, Rants bottled it because he didn't want to fight, and then because you had pulled up your hamstring playing football. So you have got that little double-edged sword there to balance. But I'm sure you'll be involved where you can here and there. It's a shame that fight's come in this little period actually, because
that's when all the games are,
it's when all the games are. But that is a big thing. I'm pissed I'm going to miss that actually. United Stand kicks are live as well on kitlocker.com. Make sure you guys check that out. The merch is selling like hotcakes, man. People, someone from Malaysia was like, the kit just come, it looks great. I love it. And crazy,
bro. The black and the red, bro.
It's good. So keep that coming. We'll see you guys same time, same place next week. Peace.